Hey everyone. Today I wanted to cover the importance of private lessons. Now, people can get good in anything, learning in a one-on-one setting or in a group setting. But when you really think about it, to learn anything really well, isn't it always better to have somebody who's coaching you one-on-one? But when you think about it, think about other things. Think even like music lessons. You know, we take music lessons in our classes in school, in middle school. Right now, my daughter's taking orchestra. A lot of the kids there, to become the better ones, they're often supplementing those group classes in school with private sessions, with a violin tutor or a cello tutor, whatever they're playing. In fact, my son, when he was younger, he had an instructor come in and teach him violin one-on-one. And this particular person had his degree in music, and he played violin for, I don't know, by then maybe 20 years, because we wanted him to understand the instrument, to understand the theory behind the music, which you can't get from the group class. Now, here's the thing about group classes. Group classes are designed for the average student in the class. So when I say average, if you have a scale of 1 to 10 in abilities, of people can be either a level 1 or they can be a level 10. You're going to run the class typically at a level 5. And the reason is because that will be able to touch more people than if you run it at a 1 or if you run it at a 10. If I run the class at a 5, then I'll be able to probably perfectly address the needs of 5 or 6 of those students. If I run the class at 1, I might take care of 1, maybe 2. If I run it at 10, I'll take care of 1, maybe 2. So the fact that I have to run a group class, and I have to run it in terms of averages, because I'm trying to get as many of the group involved as possible, I have to dumb it down for some, and I have to ramp it up for others. So either the people that are on the lower level are going to have to find a way to catch up, or the people on the upper level are going to have to find a way to be satisfied with learning a class that's actually below their level. So what then happens? If you look at the middle group, they're fine. But if you look at the top group and the bottom group, they're going to have some additional needs met. So the bottom group will then think to themselves, okay, I need to get some privates in so I can get myself caught up, get myself at least caught up to average. And the one in the top group, the 10 level group, they're going to be thinking, I need to get some privates so I can supplement what I'm already learning. You know, I know all this, so I want to learn the next level stuff. So that's where it benefits both groups. So that way the 10 level can be satisfied training in the group class because he's getting supplemental learning outside. The 1 level student, he can be satisfied in the group class because although he's lost at the moment, he's getting caught up in his private sessions. Now, for those average students in a group class, does that mean they don't need to take private lessons? No, I mean, they can still do it. Well, the class is tailored to them, but what if they want to get to the 10 level? What if they don't want to just be an average student? You know, they want to learn some stuff. What if there's a particular concept that is really tough for them? More often than not, when I'm teaching a private lesson, especially for somebody who comes in from another school or out of towner, makes an appointment to come in for a private, the very first thing they always ask me is, can you teach me how to get out of cross-side? Cross-side, also known as side mount to some schools. For us, side mount is something completely different. Or a cross-side. I'll ask them, and I know what the answer is because I went through it as well myself. I asked them, well, haven't you learned how to get out? Well, yeah, I have, but it doesn't seem to work for me. Okay, well, how did they teach it to you? What did they tell you? Well, you know, they just basically told me to get to my side. And once I get to my side, I can get out. Is that wrong? No, it's actually true. Once you get to your side, you can get out. Or the other one out here is, my instructor just tells me to do a hip escape. You know, just move my hips. Is that wrong? Well, no, it's right. If you move your hips, that's how you get out of a cross side. Well, here's the problem. People don't know how to get to their side or get to the point where they can do a hip escape, right? So that's where the private teaching comes in. right? Because when I was at one school, this is back when I was a purple belt even, I had a hard time getting out of this position. I didn't really learn, I didn't have my escape dialed in to where I know I'm going to get out almost every single time. You know, I didn't have it to that point. In fact, I know I'm going to get out every time. But, you know, I didn't have it at that point until I was either late purple or early brown belt. Maybe even middle brown belt. Because up until that point, how I was taught was, okay, Ryan, you got to get on your side. Okay, well, what if the guy's pushing me down? Well, don't let him push you down, huh? Right? No, he flattens me out. Well, yeah, well, don't let him flatten you out. Okay, well, that's like being told not to do something you cannot help. Right? It just doesn't work. You need to know the formula to get to the point where you can do the escape. Right? So that's where the private lessons come in. So like I said, more often than not, people who train privately with me want to know that one. And it's probably the same with Dave as well. In fact, he did a big semi-private when we're out in Hawaii on the trip to Hawaii for our Jiu-Jitsu surf camp, and every one of them asked him, how do you get out of cross-side? Right? Everybody's looking for a magic bullet. There's a certain procedure, and it really, you cannot do it in a group class only because it just takes too much time. So, you know, if somebody wants to have more time spent with them on a certain concept, best thing is to book a private. You know, that way your instructor can spend more time with you and he can cater something to your needs. For instance, let's say it's always A, B, C, D. Those are your steps to get out of cross-side. Those are the generic steps. Why do I say generic? Because A, B, C, D may work for most people, but you need to have A1, B1, C1, D1 for the remaining people, because maybe something's different about their body. Maybe somebody's got a particularly short stature, and being that they're not the average size, you need to make a few adjustments. That's where A1, B1, C1, D1 comes in, right? You know, yes, do this, but do it in this way, and yes, do that, but do it in that way. That can't come really in a group class, because that's something that's specifically tailored for you, and that's where the private sessions come in. Yes, they are expensive. They're not cheap, but like with anything, if you want somebody's time one-on-one, you're gonna have to pay extra. It's not just, with a group class, an instructor can teach multiple people at once. So it would make sense that everybody would spend less per person, because when you aggregate it, it ends up being worth it for the instructor. But if you really want to get to that next level, you really need to consider taking private lessons. So anyway, it is, it could be from us here at Kama Jiu-Jitsu, or it could be from your instructor. I mean, if your instructor has time, get them from him or her. Well, that's all I got. Take care. Have a great day.